Okay, this is the right exercise. Okay, so this is the right track. Let's listen. So very quickly, let me explain the exercise for you. So we are going to listen to 4 different conversations, okay? Which news story is each conversation about? So let me remind you of the 4 stories. So these are the 4 news stories. So we have the story of Joe and the dog. We have the floods in India. We have the plane crash. And we also have the missing people on Mount Everest. Okay, now let's listen to the 4 conversations, and I want you to tell me which news story is each conversation about. So let's start with conversation number 1. Let's listen.
Recording 7.9.
Oops, not this one.
Find, found, take, took. Say.
اللي بعدها ده.
Win, won.
The man who won this week's lottery.
Okay.
No. How much did he win?
Over £13 million.
Oh, really?
Yeah, but that's not the best bit. His dog chose the numbers for him.
You're joking.
Yes, apparently he wrote the numbers on envelopes and laid them...
Okay, so which conversation is this? Which news report is it? Is it A, B, C, or D? Which one is this?
A.
Yeah, right. Yeah, it's A. So it's the story about Joe and his dog. Okay, now let's listen to conversation number 2. Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullah. How are you, Basma? Good to have you back.
Hello, Doctor. Nice to start. Listen again.
Yes, nice to start again. Okay, so here now let's listen to the second conversation this time, and let's try to find out which news report is it from. Let's listen.
Conversation 2.
Have you got family in India?
Yes, why?
Did you hear about the floods?
Oh, yes, isn't it awful? I saw it on the news last night.
Is your family all right?
Yes, they're fine. They don't live in that part of India.
Okay, so which news report is it? A, B, C, or D? Which one is this?
B. B.
That's right, yeah. So here you can see the floods in India. So this is B, that's right. Okay, now let's listen to conversation number 3.
Conversation 3.
Did you hear about that plane crash?
No, where was it?
Somewhere in China. Over 100 people died.
Oh no, that's terrible.
Yes, I know. I've got a friend who works in China.
Okay, and the third one, which picture is it? Which news report?
C.
C, that's right, yeah. This is from C, that's correct. And let's listen to the last conversation.
Conversation 4.
Did you read about the couple on Everest?
No. What happened?
One of them fell, and they lost their radio.
Oh dear. Are they okay?
Yes, a helicopter found them yesterday.
Oh, that's good.
Yes, the husband broke his leg.
Okay, and of course the last one, which news report is it from?
D.
Right, yeah, it's from the missing couple on Mount Everest. All right, so this is the first part of the question. We just finished number 7A. Now, before we listen again, I want you to choose the right response for each news, or for each, let's call it a statement, sentence. So for each sentence, there's a response because this is a conversation between two people. So number one, the example, over 13 million pounds. Of course, this was with the first news report. Really? So this is a response. What does it mean when we say really? What does it mean? Does it mean maybe the person is lying?
Surprised.
Exactly, correct. Yeah, that's right, Basma. This shows surprise, right? Because this is surprising news. Really? Okay, what about number two? His dog chose the numbers for him. What's the right response here?
Number F, you are joking.
You're joking.
You're joking.
You're joking? Okay, we can check it. What about number three? Did you hear about the floods? What's the right response here? Is it good news or bad news, the floods? What do you think?
Bad news.
Yeah, it's bad news, exactly.
Number
So,
A, yes, isn't
A.
maybe A. Isn't it awful? Maybe that's correct.
E.
B?
E.
I think.
Oh
What?
no, that's terrible.
Ah, D, you mean? Oh no. Ah,
E.
E. Oh no, that's terrible. Maybe that's right. Okay, let's choose both answers, and then we can check from the listening. All right. What about number 4? Over 100 people died.
Number E, oh no, that trouble.
Okay.
No, that's terrible.
I think E.
All right. So, oh no, that's terrible. This is the right response for maybe number 4. We'll check. Okay, number 5. One of them fell and lost their radio.
Number D, oh dear.
Are they okay?
Are they okay?
Maybe that's correct. Yeah. Oh dear, are they okay? Okay. And number 6, the last one. Yes, a helicopter found them yesterday.
C.
Oh, that's good.
Oh, that's good.
Oh, that's good. Okay, let's check your answers. Let's listen again. Let's listen one more time. And let's find out.
I saw it on the news last night.
Is your family all right?
Yes.
King? Yes, apparently.
Win. Won.
After this.
The man who won this week's lottery.
No. How much did he win?
Over 13 million pounds.
Oh, really?
Yeah, but that's not the best bit. His dog chose the numbers for him.
You're joking.
Yes, apparently. He wrote the numbers on envelopes and laid them...
Conversation 2.
Have you got family in India?
Yes, why?
Did you hear about the floods?
Oh, yes, isn't it awful? I saw it on the news last night.
Is your family all right?
Yes, they're fine. They don't live in that part of India.
So it's A. Isn't it
Conversation
awful?
3.
Did you hear about that plane crash?
No, where was it?
Somewhere in China. Over 100 people died.
Oh no, that's terrible.
Yes, I know. I've got a friend who works in China. And she says that...
Conversation 4.
Did you read about the couple on Everest?
No. What happened?
One of them fell, and they lost their radio.
Oh dear. Are they okay?
Yes, a helicopter found them yesterday.
Oh, that's good.
Yes, the husband broke his leg.
All right, so all of them are correct, except I think number 3. Yes, yes, isn't it awful? All right, so these are just examples of how to respond or what to say when someone is giving you or telling you the news. If it's surprising, you can say really, or you're joking if it's very shocking. If it's bad, of course, you can say, oh dear, that's terrible, something like that. All right, now let's move on to exercise number 8. And this time we want to write the responses We have two parts in this question. So the first part is we just want to complete the two sentences. So we have a question and we have the answer. And then we have the same thing for number 2, a question and an answer. After that, we want to write the responses from this box. Let me put it in a box for you. So after that, we want to write these responses. We want to put them in the right place. So you can put them here with surprising news, or maybe bad news, or good news. It depends. But first of all, let's do the first part of the question, okay? So part A, fill in the gaps in the questions and responses with these words. So number 1, I would like to do number 1. Did you
open it? How about it?
You heard?
How did you hear, please?
You hear?
You hear?
Yeah. So the right answer is, did you hear? Did you hear about the plane crash? And what's the right answer? No. Where?
Was it?
That's correct. Where was it? Where was it? No. Where was it? So let's write was. Okay. And the second question, did you read?
Open it?
About
About.
a couple of Everest.
Correct. Did you read about the couple on Everest? No. What
Happened.
Yeah. No. What happened? No. What happened? So that's the correct answer. All right. Of course, you can use these questions for almost any kind of news. So, for example, if you saw something on the news and you want to talk to your mother, your father, or your family, so you can say, did you hear about anything? Did you hear about the football match? Did you hear about the elections? Did you hear about the floods? Did you hear about the weather or anything? You can talk about anything. Did you read about? So you can say, did you hear about? Did you read about? Okay. And then your friend or your family member can answer. Okay, now, second part of the question. Let's put these 6 responses, let's put them in the right place. All right. So really is already answered. Really, this is surprising news. But let's start with A. Yes, isn't it awful? What is this? Is it good news? Is it a response to good news? Is it a response to bad news?
Bad news.
Or maybe surprising news? What do you think?
Bad news.
Bad news.
Okay. So if you hear bad news, so you can say, yes, isn't it awful? All right, what about really is answer? What about, oh, that's good?
Good news.
Good news.
That's true. That's correct. So, oh, that's good. Okay, what about, oh dear, are they okay?
Bad news.
Bad news.
That's right. So if you hear bad news, you can say, oh dear, are they okay? It doesn't have to be are they. You can say, is he, is she? It depends on the story, of course. Okay, E. Oh no, that's terrible.
Bad news.
Bad news.
Right, that's bad news. So, oh no, that's terrible. And then we have, you're joking. You're joking.
Surprising news.
Good news.
Is it good news? Is it bad news? Or is it surprising?
Surprising.
Yeah, I think it's surprising. That's correct. Yeah. So you're joking. This means maybe very surprising news. So you can say you're joking. But do you think we can say you're joking also for good things or for bad news, for good news or bad news, or only surprising news? What do you think?
Good news.
Maybe good news, maybe.
Or bad news.
Or bad news. That's correct. I think you can maybe use it for both. But I think the most important thing is that it's very surprising. But what's the difference between something surprising and something shocking? What's the difference between surprising news and if we say, for example, shocking news? Or is it the same? Or is it different? What do you think?
No, it's different.
How is it different?
Surprise, it's a happy news.
Okay, yeah, maybe. Okay, shocking.
Shocking, it's shock. Shock.
Okay.
I think from bad news يعني shock.
I think that's
It
right,
will
yeah.
come from bad news, I think.
That's correct. It's not a good thing. It's a negative thing, right? When you're shocked, maybe
Yes.
it's surprising and bad at the same time, right? If it's shocking, like maybe someone died, maybe a car was stolen, right? Bad things. So this is kind of shocking. It's surprising, but it's bad. So if surprise plus bad, you can say this is shocking. It's not surprising in a good way. It's surprising in a bad way. Okay, so these are examples of how you can respond to the news. If someone is talking to the news, about the news, talking to you about the news, you can use these responses, of course, to respond. All right, so let's move on. Let's check. Listen and practice the responses. Did you hear me? Okay, let's do a little bit of pronunciation practice here, number 9. So, all right, let's return the answers. All right, so what we want to do is we want to listen to the questions and to the responses. So number 1 and number 2. We are going to listen to them, and I want you to listen and repeat, okay? So you want to listen and repeat to these two, okay? So let me play them from the track. Let's listen and repeat.
Recording 7.11.
Did you hear about that plane crash?
Okay, you can repeat.
Did you
hear about that plane crash?
Okay, let's listen to the answer.
No, where was it?
No, where was it?
No, where was it?
Okay, let's listen to the second question.
Did you read about the couple on Everest?
Did you read about
Did you read about the couple on Everest?
All right.
No, what happened?
No, what happened?
No, what happened?
All right, so it's just a quick pronunciation question. They want you to get used to asking these questions and responding. All right, so I think this is an extra question. All right, let's move on to our next topic. So here we want to talk a little bit about jokes. All right, so here in this lesson, we want to focus on the use of articles, how to use a and an, and how to use the. Of course, I'm sure all of you know that we use, if it's a word that starts with a vowel, we use an, right? So we can say an apple, an elephant, an umbrella. Everybody knows this. And if it's a word that starts with a consonant, we use a. So we can say a book, a car, a computer, and so on. But in today's lesson, we will also talk about the, how to use the, where do we put it? This is the question. But first of all, let's start here with exercise number 1. So what's your favorite comedy program or film? Does anybody here like comedy? Maybe funny movies, funny films, or comedy shows? Does anybody like comedy here?
Yes.
Yeah, okay, Manan. So you like comedy. Tell us about your favorite, maybe show or your favorite
comedy film. Just I don't know comedy program.
Okay. Okay, tell us about a comedy film.
Okay. My favorite comedy film is
Moana.
You're talking about the animation.
Cartoon animation.
Yeah, I know Moana. Yeah. Is it funny? Do you think it's funny?
Funny, yes, it's funny with me. Easily.
Nice. Okay, so this is an example of a funny or a comedy film for you.
My science fiction.
Science fiction.
Science fiction. Avatar.
Avatar, but Avatar, is it funny?
No, funny مع Moana.
Correct. Yeah, Moana is funny. I agree. But Avatar is a science fiction movie, right?
Yeah, I can talk about my favorite general film.
Okay. So this is your favorite film in general, not your favorite funny film or your favorite comedy film.
It's okay. Yes.
All right. Okay. But what about jokes, Mana? Do you like telling jokes or listening to jokes?
I like to listen to jokes more. More that telling jokes.
I see. Okay, so you like to hear them. You like to listen to them.
I am not good.
You're not good at telling jokes. Okay. Do you have a joke for us? Do you know any jokes in English?
No.
No. Okay. Let's see someone else here. What about you, maybe Besma, or anyone else here? Do you have maybe a favorite show or film or program or maybe play that you think is funny and you enjoy it? Do you have a favorite show or movie, Basma?
But no.
Okay. What about jokes?
Yes.
Uh-huh.
I like sometimes I like to read about real jokes that happen to some persons, some people, like a real situation.
Yes, real situations in life that are funny, you mean? Yeah, I get your point.
Yes.
Okay, that's good. But can you remember a story or maybe a news report that you read that was very funny and it's real? Can you tell us a story or a news report you read that was funny and real?
I'm not good to say them, but I remember a situation that in a Russian concert when I was a child. Yes, I went to a Russian concert, and yes, and the singer, his voice was very loud, and and the boys are all of them running out of the
You mean out of the stage?
the whole stage. Yeah, we the girls just closed our ears, and the man, yes, the men laughing were laughing. Yes, with the singer was looking at us.
Why are you closing your ears?
Yes.
So I'm sure he didn't enjoy it.
Yes. It was a traditional song, I think. A traditional band, I think.
I see. But do you think that the sound was too loud because maybe Maybe the speakers, you mean, weren't
the speaker, but the kind of that songs, not like opera, but it is a kind of traditional, yes.
Maybe it's like a folk song.
Yes, folk songs in Russia.
That's very interesting.
Yeah.
I'm sure that the singer never sang again after that concert. He was maybe so embarrassed. Okay, so this is an example of a real life funny situation. Okay, does anybody else have maybe a story or a program or a joke or anything else which is funny that happened in their life, or maybe they saw it in a movie? What about you, Rana? Tell us a little bit. Do you have a favorite show, maybe a movie, or I don't know, a series, cartoon, play, or a book even?
Scooby-Doo movie.
The Scooby-Doo movie. Yeah.
Yes.
Do you think it's funny?
Yeah.
Yeah. Who's your favorite character? Is it Scooby-Doo or Shaggy or Daphne? Who do you like most?
Shaggy.
Shaggy is funny, yes. I think it's very funny. Yeah, Scooby-Doo is also a famous cartoon. Before they made it into a movie, it was a cartoon. Have you seen the cartoon?
Yes.
Yeah. All right. Okay, so this is a show you like very much. Nice. Okay, let's see. Here in today's lesson, we will also read a little bit about some jokes. But before we do that, I want you here to see these verbs. So we have a group of verbs. I'm going to read them for you. And then if any of these are new, we'll talk about them. So we have love, hate, come, laugh, cry, say, buy, sit, wait, start, see, and happen. So these are the verbs we have. So does everybody know all of these verbs, or are there any new verbs in this list? Any new verbs here? No, not for you, Basma. Manan, what about you? Are they clear? All right, nice. Okay, now.
All of them one syllable, except the final word.
That's correct. That's right. Yeah, all of them are one syllable verbs, except the second one, happen, 2 syllables. But all the rest are one syllable verbs.
Yes.
That's true. That's correct. Okay, now let's talk a little bit about the past simple of these verbs. And we want to find which of them are regular and which of them are irregular. But who can tell me what's the difference between regular verbs and irregular verbs? Is there any difference, or is it the same?
No, there's a difference between regular and irregular.
Okay, what's the difference?
Regular added the ed.
Okay, correct.
Irregular changed the word, like see, so.
Okay, is there any rule? Any rule for irregular verbs? Do you think there's any rule?
There's no rule irregular.
All right, that's correct. Actually, that's right. Yeah, with regular verbs we just add ed, like you said. But with irregular verbs, there's no rule, and usually the whole word changes, right?
Okay.
Okay, now let's take a look at these verbs. So who can tell me what's the past of love?
There's no past in love, it's feeling.
But maybe the feeling for a person changes with time, right? Maybe you love someone and after a year you don't love them anymore. This happens all the time in marriage, right? The first year both the husband and wife love each other. The second year they don't really love each other very much.
Maybe.
But you're right, love is a feeling, it's correct. But there's a good point here. Actually, love, if you use it as a noun, it's a feeling, right? But if you use it as a verb, it's different. Now, you made a very good point here, Lubni. Can you give me an example where love is a noun and where love is a verb? Use it as a feeling, like you said, as a noun, and also use it as a verb. Can you give me an example where you can use it as a verb and as a noun?
As a verb, I love it.
Okay, that's correct. Yeah, I love it. You can say, I love ice cream, I love chocolate, I love cars, I love computers, I love video games. Correct. This is a verb. Yeah. Right. Okay, but can you use it as a noun?
Noun. I don't know now.
Okay. Let's see if someone can think of an example. Ranim. Hello Ranim. أعتقد لازم تعطي الإذن للبرنامج يستعمل الصوت. كندا مش هتقدري تتكلمي يا رنيم. لازم تعطي له أوكي البرنامج بحيث يستعمل الميكروفون. Okay, who can think of love? How can we use love as a noun?
Love stories.
Love stories. Okay. I think it's a bit like an adjective here, but usually they say romantic stories or romance. Usually we don't say love, but okay, this is a good example. Let's see another example. Ranim, yes. Ranim is raising her hand. Okay.
Your dress is lovely.
Sorry?
Your dress is lovely.
Your dress is lovely. Now this is an adjective. Your dress is lovely because you're describing the dress.
Yes.
Right? Okay. So your dress is lovely. Your car is lovely. It's a lovely house. It's a lovely car. It's a lovely dress. Okay, so this is the adjective. But we still haven't used love as a noun. Basma, can you try? Maybe you can.
Can I try?
For example.
Yes.
Okay, go ahead, Basma.
For example, maybe the love is just this noun. I think the love is.
Okay, complete your example. Love is.
Any sentence, يعني.
It has to make sense. Love is. Can we say love is? You have to complete it, right? You have to say love is something.
The brother loves his sister.
Okay, the brother loves his sister. Now this is a verb.
Here, verbs, yes.
It's correct. It's a good example, but it's not a noun. Okay, but Basma, let's hear your example.
Yes. If any couple lose love between them or between each other, life will be hard to continue.
Good example. Yeah. So if a couple lose the love they have for each other, life will be hard to continue. Okay, correct. This is correct. Yeah. It's a hard example, It's correct. But I think a much easier example, we can say, you can say
We
he's...
should keep love with each other.
Okay. We should keep love with each other. What about usually when they talk about love, they usually use in love. They are in love, right? Have you heard of this expression?
Yes.
They're in love.
Yes.
They sometimes say they fell in love. I fell in love, right? So when you use it like this, you're using it as a noun. Or just like Mustafa's example, love is important in a marriage. If you say love is important in a marriage, you're also using it as a noun. Of course, many words in English are like this. You have, for example, cook, right? He's a cook, or she cooks very well. So cook can be a noun and it can be a verb, cook and cook. We also have verbs, another word. Who can think of another word which is the same, noun and verb? Can anyone think of another word?
Kill.
Kill?
Yes.
Kill. I think it's only a verb, kill.
مش كان في درس noun درس license of kill.
License to kill. This is a verb, license to kill. Infinitive, to plus infinitive, license to kill. The noun is killing.
Okay.
The noun is killing. في العادة في الإنجليزية أغلب most verbs when you change them to nouns you just put ing. Swim, swimming. Kill, killing.
I
right?
think hunt. We make hunt in word in noun and verb. I think that hunt.
That's right. Yes, a hunt is the same.
Yes.
We went on a hunt, and Ahmed hunted some pigeons or hunted something. Correct. Hunt. Anyways, this is not our topic because here I don't think they're talking about nouns. Love was just an example. But let's talk about these only as verbs. Let's change all of these. Let's change them to the past. And then let's think a little bit. Which of them are regular, which are irregular? So let's start with love. So what's the past of love?
I think loved.
That's correct. Loved. Yeah. Love. Loved. Correct. What about hate?
Hate.
Plus
ed.
Correct.
Hated.
That's right. Hated. Correct. Come.
Came.
Came. Correct. Laugh.
Laughed.
Laughed. That's correct. Yeah. What about cry?
Cried. Drop Y, added IED.
That's right. Cried. Yeah. What about say?
Say. The same.
Said.
S-A-I-D.
Yeah. S-A-I-D. Said. What about buy?
Pose. Change it. All of it.
Bought. Yeah. There's a change. Correct. What about sit?
Sat.
Sat. Yeah. What about wait?
Waited.
Okay. Correct. What about start?
Started.
See.
Saw.
Happen.
Happened. Easy.
All right. Now let's write all of these. Let's write the spelling. So love, we said that the past is loved. All right, let's write it. So what's the spelling here? Do we add another ed or just d?
Ed.
Plus D. Plus D.
Okay. What about hate?
Just D. Added D.
Okay. And come, the past is came. What's the spelling?
Drop O, added A-M-E.
Correct. Yeah. Okay, let me just write it here. Came, correct. What about laugh?
Added E-D.
Right. What about cry?
Drop Y, added I-E-G.
By?
Pout. P-O-U-G. Sat, S-A-T.
Okay. What about wait?
Added ed.
Waited plus ed.
Right, that's correct. Start?
Started plus ed.
That's correct. See?
Saw, S-A-W.
Right, saw, S-A-W, and happen?
Added ed.
Happened plus ed.
All right, that's correct. Now, which of these are regular and which of them are irregular? What do you think?
Loved, regular.
Okay, loved. So let's just put a tick
Loved.
mark in front of regular. So loved is regular. What about hated?
Irregular.
What about came?
Irregular.
Right. What about laughed?
Irregular.
Regular.
Cried?
Regular.
Irregular.
Is it regular or irregular? What do you think?
Irregular.
Regular.
Regular.
But why do you think it's irregular, Lubna? I think it's regular, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, because we have ed in the end.
Okay.
Like study, studied, marry, married, right? So this means it's actually irregular. Bought?
Irregular.
Correct. Sat?
Irregular.
Right. Waited?
Regular.
Started?
Regular.
Saw?
Irregular.
And happened?
Regular.
Right. Okay. So this is a very quick revision for regular and irregular verbs. All right. Now, so we know all of them and we found all of them. Now, what we want to do is I want you to listen to the joke. So read and listen to the joke, fill in the gaps in the last line. So this is the joke. It's kind of a story. It's not really a joke, I think. But let me play it for you. Let me show you the photos first, or the pictures. This is picture A. This is picture B. Here we have picture C. And here we have picture D. So we have 4 pictures. And we have 4 parts in this joke or story. It's kind of like a funny story, really. I don't know if we should call it a joke. But in the book, they're calling it a joke, so we'll call it a joke. Anyway, so I want you to read and listen, and when you get to the last part, just complete the missing words, okay? So let's play the track. So listen and follow the story. Let's start.
Oh, that's good.
Yes, isn't it awful?
Okay, هذا من التمرين اللي فات.
Oh dear. Are they okay?
Oh no, that's terrible.
Really? You're joking.
Recording 7.12.
Do you know any good jokes?
No, but Tom's good at telling jokes.
Okay, Tom, tell us a joke.
Okay, let me think. Right, here's one. One day, Mike went to the cinema to see a film. He bought a drink and an ice cream. Then he sat in the front row of the cinema and waited for the film to start. A few minutes later, an old man in a long coat came and sat near him. The old man had a big black dog, and the dog sat on the floor by the man's feet. When the film started, Mike saw that the dog was very interested in the film. When something funny happened, the dog laughed and laughed. When a person in the film died or something bad happened, the dog cried and cried. This happened all the way through the film. At the end of the film, Mike went to talk to the old man. "That was amazing," said Mike. "Your dog really loved the film." The old man looked at him and said, "Yes, it was amazing. He hated the book." Oh.
Okay. So this was the story or the joke. So what do you think they mean? First of all, what are the last two parts?
He hated the book.
He hated the book.
He hated the book. Okay. Now
The
what?
dog the dog read the book about the story.
Yes, that's it. The dog read the story, the book about the movie, because the movie or the film was based on a book. So so the dog is a genius. He liked the movie, but he didn't like the book. So this is of course the joke. Most jokes in English are kind of like this. They have a different style from, I think, Libyan jokes. They're not the same. Many of them, they work also on words, the double meaning of words, things like this. They have a different style. Okay. Did you get the joke, Manad? Did you understand the joke? And Rana? Did you get the joke here? Where's Rana?
Not really.
Not really. Okay, so maybe Besma can explain. Besma, can you explain to Rana? Can you, in a simple way, maybe summarize it for her? What is the joke about? What's the point here in this joke?
Yes, the man surprised about the dog that was loved with funny and situations, and cried with bad situations in the movie, in the film. But he told the man that was amazing about the dog, and the man said he hated the book because he told him that the dog read the book about the film before. Did you get the point?
Did you get the idea, Rana?
Yes.
Yeah. So the dog already knows the story of the film because he read the book and he didn't like it. He didn't like the book.
The book. He didn't like reading the book, but liked the film. Yes.
Yeah, he enjoyed the film. Yeah. Okay, so this was, it's a joke. Hello, Mohammed, Omar. Hi, welcome to the class.
Hi, Mister.
Sorry?
Can you hear me, Mister?
Yeah, I can hear you. Hello.
Hello, Mister.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm fine, thanks. Okay, so this is an example of a joke. Now, what we want to do is we want to match the 4 paragraphs because we have 4 paragraphs in this maybe joke or story. We want to match them to the photos, to the pictures, I mean. So we have picture A, picture B, we have picture C, and picture D. So let's start with picture A. Which paragraph do you think matches picture A?
B.
B?
Yes.
A few later, a man along came, the dog. The old man had a big dog, and the dog sat on the floor by the man's feet. Who disagrees with the man? Who thinks it's...
No. Yes, number 1, B.
You're talking
Number
about
1.
paragraph number 1B. Okay. Yeah, I think that's correct, yeah. Because this number 1B is showing us Mike coming into the cinema. He brought some ice cream. He brought a drink and he's about to watch the movie. Okay, correct. Yeah, number 1 is B.
I think the picture A, paragraph number 3, I think.
Yes, number 3.
Yes, me too.
Okay, so yeah, so picture A is paragraph 3, when the dog laughed and cried with the film. Okay. What about picture C and D here?
Picture C, number 4.
Yeah, when he talked to the man, right?
Yes, Mr.
Yeah.
Number C is
With paragraph 4.
Yeah. And this means picture D. D.
Number 2.
Right. Pick number 2. Yeah. This is when the man first came, right? The old man with the long coat. He came into the cinema with the black dog. All right. So this is just a quick story about a funny joke, I guess. So now we want to go to number 4. This time we want to focus on something a little, maybe a little different. This time we want to focus on, oops, where did I go? Yeah, we want to focus on articles. How to use a, how to use an, and how to use the. So the idea here, it says, sorry. Yeah, we want to use them. So we have a, an, and the. So look at the first example. It says, an old man in a long coat came. Well, let me remove the white part here. Oops. Okay. So it says, an old man in a long coat came and sat near him. The second example, it says, what does it say? The old man had a big black dog. And the last example, it says, he sat in the front row. So these are the 3 different examples we have. Now, what we want to do is we want to finish the 3 rules. You can see here we have 3 rules. It says we use something to talk about things or people for the first time. We use something.
A or an.
Okay, so you think a or an, because let me put a circle around the options. So we have, let's use the red color. So you can use a or an, and you can use the. All right. So Manal, you think number 1, we use a or an? We use a or an to talk about things or people for the first time.
First time, yes.
All right. It says here we use something to when we know which thing or person.
Yeah.
Okay. And the last one, it says we use something when there is only one thing or person in a particular place.
The.
What do you think?
A and I think. A and an.
We use
the.
I think, Mr. I think it's the.
That is actually correct. We use the. Because here, look at the examples. What does it say? It says he sat in the front row. Can you see this? The front row. So how many front rows do we have?
Just one, yeah.
Exactly. If you have only one thing of something, we use the, right? Because you don't have 2 front rows. Because if you have 2 front rows, the first one is the front row. The second is the second row. So this is the idea. So if you're talking about only one thing, when there is just one particular person or thing or place, we usually say the to talk about it. All right.
Like was the cinema.
Yeah, these are actually with the cinema and the evening or the beach. This kind of the is fixed. In the English language, we have some expressions and some phrases where the is fixed. All right. So it's not part of any rule really. It's just a fixed. It's a fixed thing in the phrase. What does fixed, by the way, mean when we say in some fixed phrases? What do you think it means? Fixed phrases.
We can't change.
We can't change them. That's right, Basmaya. We can't change them. They're fixed. ثابتات في اللغة. So this is what we mean by fixed phrases. So this means sometimes in some fixed phrases we also have the. This means you have to put it. It's not optional. It's part of the phrase. In the evening, in the morning, in the afternoon. The here, there's no rule. It's just fixed. You have to use it. This is the idea. Now let me show you the summary here, where they talk a little more about this. So let me take you to the summary. So here, where is it? 136. Here it is. So it says we use a and an to talk about things or people for the first time. For example, an old man in a long coat sat near him. So here, the reason why we used a and an, because we're talking about this for the first time in the story, okay? After that, when we talk about the old man for the second time, we don't use a and an. Now we use the old man, okay? Because we know who we're talking about. We know the person we're talking about. Do you get the idea? The old man. And then there's another way of using the. We used it when we only talked about only one thing or person in a particular place, like the front row. This is an example of the. We also have other examples of fixed the. So we have the cinema, the theater, in the morning, in the afternoon, in the evening, at the weekend, the news. These are some examples of how to use a, and an. All right, now let's go back.
Even the floor.
The floor, correct. The ceiling, because you only have one floor and you only have one ceiling, right? So you have the floor and you have the ceiling. You have the...
What's the meaning of ceiling?
Ceiling is the roof from the inside, the ceiling. Because we have the roof, but the roof is from the outside, right? The rooftop, this is where you have the satellites and you have, for example, here in Libya, usually there are satellites on the roof, the rooftop. Sometimes there are water tanks, right? This is what we put on the roof. But if you're inside the house and you look up where the lights are hanging, the chandelier, if you have a chandelier, this is called the ceiling. So who can tell me what's the difference between ceiling and roof? What's the difference? Is there a difference between ceiling and roof?
Yes.
What's the difference, Basma? What do you think?
I think the roof is... Okay.
Okay, Basmaya, what's the difference?
السقف من الأسفل السقف.
Okay.
Ceiling.
يعني in the room. The roof in the room. A ceiling out the room.
The opposite.
Yes.
The roof هو السطح الأعلى.
Yes, الروف اللي هو فوق السطح اللي الخارجي. Ceiling is usually inside. It's inside the room. It's inside the house. It's what you can see when you look up in your room or in your office. This is called the ceiling. Ceiling and roof. So the floor and the ceiling, usually we use the because there's only one of them in a particular place. All right. So this is the idea. So now in number five, we finished number 4. Okay, number 5, we want to look at all the examples of a, an, and the. Okay, so we want to go to the story and we want to underline all of them. And we want to find out why we used a, and an. So let's find them together, and after that we can discuss them. So let's mark them. Let's start from the beginning.
Film.
Okay.
The cinema, yes. Or
Yeah, we have film.
A drink.
A drink.
An
An ice cream.
The front row.
That's in the front row of the cinema.
The cinema again. That's right.
And waited for the film.
The film.
Correct. What is it?
And all.
The film, yeah.
A few.
Correct. The film. An old man, an old man a few minutes later.
Yes.
A long
In a
coat.
long coat.
Yeah, the old man, a black dog, the dog, the floor,
On the floor.
the man. Okay. And then number 3, when the film
started.
Correct.
The dog.
So the dog.
Yeah.
Interested in the film.
Film, correct. Then we have the dog
The
laughed.
dog laughed.
A person in the film. The dog cried. Correct. The dog cried and cried. So we didn't do the way through the film. Correct. Then in the last one we have at the end of the film, Mike went to talk to the old man. That was amazing. Said Mike, I really love the film. The old man said yes, it was really hated the book. All right, now let's discuss them. Let's start with the first one here. Number 1. So this cinema. Why did we use the here with cinema?
Because we talk this the cinema.
We talk about place.
Place, yes, place.
Okay.
Fixed.
Correct. It's a fixed expression or a fixed phrase.
Yes.
يعني ثابتة هذه. السينما تعتبر من الأشياء الثابتة. So yeah, so we always use the. All right. So this is the idea. So the reason why we use the with cinema because it's it's fixed. In English, you cannot say cinema without the. Okay. A film. Why did we use a here?
We talk about film first time.
Correct. For the first time. A drink, an ice cream.
The same.
The same thing. We're talking about it for the first time. Then we said the front row. Why did we use the? What's the
only
reason?
one thing. Only one thing.
Correct. We only have one thing because this is one of a kind. So this is the third rule. We use the when there is only one thing or one person in a particular place. So here, the front row, there's only one front row in a cinema. Okay. Again, the cinema, because cinema we use the. This is repeated. Waited for the film. Why did we use the here?
We know film.
Correct, because we already talked about film. So we're talking about it for the second time. We use the film. Okay, number 2. A few minutes later.
We talk about first time.
Yeah, I think it's the first time, but yeah, it's the first time. An old man.
First time.
First time. A long coat.
First time.
Correct.
First time.
Yeah, the old man.
We know who.
Yeah, it's repeated. We know. A big black dog.
First
time.
Correct. The dog.
We know dog.
We know the dog.
Right. The floor. Why did we use the with floor?
One floor in the place.
Correct.
One thing.
That's right. There's only one thing in this place. There's only one of this in the place, correct? The man's feet. Why did we use the?
We know man.
We know the man.
No.
Correct. The film.
We know the film.
The dog.
We know the dog.
Correct. The film again.
Yes.
The dog again. It's the same thing. A person. Why did we use a person?
The first time.
The first time we talk about this person. In the film, again, we go back to the film. We know about the film. Again, the dog. We know about the dog. This happened all the way through the film. But why did we use the with way here? This happened all the way through the film. What do you think of all the way? Can we say all away? Or do we have to say all the way?
All the way, I think a fixed expression.
Me too. I think it's a fixed expression because we can't use all away. It doesn't make sense. But we can use all the way. So for example, if you're talking about a journey or a trip in the car, for example, you can say, or a plane, a flight, you can say the baby was crying all the way from Libya to Istanbul. So the whole trip, the baby was crying, right? All the way. So I think it's a fixed expression. It's a fixed phrase. You have to use that thing. The film, again, repeated. Why did we use the end? Why did we use the with end here? What's the reason?
Yes. The end.
How many ends do we have in a film?
Yes, we have only one end.
That's it. Yeah. So the end is like the front row or the floor. We only have one of these, right? In every film, there's just one end. You don't have more than one end. So that's why we say the end. It's the same thing, by the way, when we talk about our planet, when we say the Earth, right? Because the Earth, there's only one of it. We don't have lots of Earths. So that's why they say the Earth. Planet Earth, or sometimes say the Earth. The Earth needs...
That's enough.
Sorry?
That's enough, yes. One Earth.
Yeah, it's enough, yeah. There's only one of them and it's causing lots of problems. All right, so to the old man repeated, the old man, the film repeated, the old man repeated. He hated the book. Why did we use the here before book? He hated the book. What do you think?
He's
There's
a man.
only book. One book.
Yes, there's only one book because this is the book about the movie, right?
Yes.
So the book about the movie, we don't have many books for the movie. It's only one book that they made the film or they made the movie from this book, right? So it's just one book. So that's why we used the. So this is the idea. Of course, there are more examples. This is a bigger topic, but I think for now, for elementary, this is just an introduction. يعني مجرد مقدمة عن الموضوع هذا لأن في تفاصيل أكثر بخصوص ذا وفي حتى بعض التفاصيل اللي هي في أحيان اللي هي ما نستعملوش في article نهائيا. There's no article. Remember when we talked about plural verbs, you can't use a and an with plural verbs, right? So you can't say a cars or an apples, right? You have to use the cars, the apples. But there are some nouns where you don't use an article, article. For example, if you want to talk about countries, in some countries we don't use articles. We say Italy is nice, France is beautiful. But if you want to talk about countries like the UK and the USA, we say the UK, the USA, right? So it's different depends on the rules. So there are more rules. يعني قصدي إن في تفاصيل أكتر. لكن مبدئيا هذا موضوعنا for now. Okay, now let's use these rules that we talked about. Let's use them to complete exercise 6. So check these rules with your teacher or in a dictionary, and let's use them. This is a nice story. Okay, can you see this story? We have a story. This is also a joke, by the way. But let me explain the question for you. So here you need to use a, an, or the. Okay, these are your only options. A, an, or the. So you can use any of these answers to complete the story. All right. So I'm going to leave you for a few minutes. I'll be back, but we'll check them together. Okay. So you can start, and you can ask each other if you want. Maybe you can help each other if you need any help. Okay. So remember, only 3 options: A, an, or the. That's it. Okay. And remember to use the rules. If you're talking about it for the first time, A or an. If you're talking about it for the second time, the, and so on. Okay. So I'll be right back.
Yes, I finished.
Okay, let's see your answers. Let me put this on. Okay, let's divide the answer into 3 parts. So this way, all 3 of you can do a part of it. All right, excellent. So it's already divided. Okay. Okay, so Rana, you can start the first part of the story.
Okay. One morning, a man wanted to cut down a tree in his garden. He went to a shop to buy an axe. A manager of the shop said, Why don't you buy a chainsaw? It will save you a lot of time.
Okay, let's talk a little bit about your answers. So you said a man wanted to cut down a tree in the garden. He went to
a shop.
He went to a shop to buy an axe. Then you said a manager, right?
Yes.
Then you said the shop.
The shop, yes.
Okay. But why did you use a for manager? What's the reason?
Because it's the first.
It's the first time we talk about the manager, right?
Yes.
Okay, you're right. It is the first time we talk about the manager. But in a shop, how many managers do you have?
One manager.
Right? Yeah, because a manager, usually there's only one manager in a shop or in a company. Do you get the idea?
Yes.
So what should we use here with manager?
The manager.
Right, I think that's correct. Okay, so the manager. And why don't you buy?
A.
Okay,
a chainsaw.
Right. All right, okay, nice. Now let's check, where's Manal? Okay, Manal, would you like to do the second part?
Okay. The man agreed and bought a very expensive chainsaw.
What is a chainsaw anyways? What is it? What's the meaning of this word, chainsaw? What do we use it for?
I think منشار.
Yes, but is it, I mean, does it use electricity or petrol or no electricity?
No electricity.
What's the difference, Mohammed, what's the difference between a saw and a chainsaw?
Both cut the wood.
Yeah? Correct. Both cut wood. They're not different?
Yes.
Okay. What do you think, Basma? Are they the same or are they different? Saw and chainsaw.
I think they are different.
How?
Saw is a manual set, but chainsaw is electric.
Correct. saw اللي هو المنشار زي ما قلت منع المنشار، لكن saw اللي هو المنشار اليدوي. saw العادي هذا باليد منشار يدوي. chainsaw اللي هو يا اما عاده اغلبهم يشتغلوا بمحركات نافطه او بنزين، او في منهم كهربائيات، لكن اعتقد الغالب وقود يعني. So they're very powerful and they're not manual، مش يدويات يعني automatic. Do you get the idea منال and Rana؟
Yes.
اللي هو منشار كهربائي يعني منشار مش يدوي. هي هذه فكرة chainsaw. Okay, so continue. Manal, the man agreed and bought a very expensive chainsaw.
Yes, he took it home and started cutting down the tree. He worked very hard for 6 hours, but the tree didn't fall down. The man was very angry, and we back to the shop.
All right, nice. Okay, so Basma, your turn.
Yes. This chainsaw is no good, he said. It looks okay to me, said the manager. He looked at it for a minute, then started the chainsaw. What's that noise? Asked the man.
Okay. Correct.
Yes.
Now, Mohammed, did you raise your hand? Do you want to ask something, Mohammed?
Yes.
Okay, what do you want to ask?
Okay, Mr. What's the difference between and an?
Okay. We use it for words which start with a consonant. اللي هم الحروف الثابتة. نستعملوا لكن الحروف المتحركة اللي هي الفاولز، أكيد قريتوا أنتوا الفاولز في المدرسة صح؟ اللي هي A, E, I, O, U صح؟
Yes.
So if you have a word that starts with a vowel like apple, elephant, umbrella, yes, you have to use an.
Yes.
An umbrella, an elephant, an apple, an interesting idea, anything that starts with a vowel. Usually we use an, but we use a for words which don't have vowels. All right. Okay. Now, are the answers, are they all correct, or do you want to change anything here? Maybe Manal, Basma, Rana, what do you think? What do you think of your answers? Do you want to change anything, or do you think it's all correct?
I think it's all correct.
Okay. What do you think, Basma? Do you agree?
Yes.
It's all correct? You think it's all correct too?
I think yes.
All right, okay. It's actually all correct. Sorry, the answers disappeared. Sorry. لكن الإجابات كلها صحيحة. But did you get the joke? من اللي يفهم النكتة؟
Yes.
So what was the joke, Basma? Can you explain it to us?
Yes, the man didn't start the chainsaw.
Yes.
Get it start.
Correct. That's the idea. So he thought it didn't work well. He thought it wasn't good, but he didn't even start it. Okay, because he was using it like a normal saw.
Like a normal saw.
Like a manual saw, yeah. But of course, this is a chainsaw. You have to switch it on. You have to turn it on. Rana, Manal, did you get the joke?
Yes.
Yeah. Manal?
Yes, yes.
Yeah. All right. So this is the joke. He didn't know.
I didn't get it well.
You didn't get the joke, Mohammed. Okay. So the joke, this man, he went to a shop. Okay. So this man wants to cut a tree. Okay, Mohammed?
Okay.
So he went to a shop and he bought a very expensive chainsaw. احنا اتفقنا chainsaw اللي هو المنشار الكهربائي مش العادي. All right.
Yes.
So this chainsaw was very expensive. All right.
Yeah.
And for 6 hours, the man was cutting down the tree. Okay, for 6 hours, but the tree didn't fall. So the man got upset. He was very angry. He went back to the shop. He told them, this chainsaw is no good because he couldn't cut the tree, right?
Yes.
So the man the manager in the shop took a look at the chainsaw, and he said it looks fine, it looks okay, and he started the chainsaw. So the man asked, "What's that noise?"
Yes.
Do you get the idea? So it means the man ما شغلش ولا ما روح بيه. أول مرة يسمع صوته.
Yes, yes.
This is the idea, okay?
Yes, I understand.
All right, so this is the joke. All right, now let's do some of these exercises. I don't think we can finish all of them, but let's start. So this is these are review questions from Unit 7. So let's write the missing letters in these words. All right, so number 1, we have horror films. Number 2, we have, what kind of films? What kind of film is this?
Science fiction.
That's correct. So what's the spelling? What are the missing letters?
ILM.
Okay, from films ILM, صح? Okay, but from science fiction?
C-I-E.
Okay, C.
C.
N.
N.
Uh-huh.
A.
And then fiction I-O-N.
Correct.
I-O-N.
That's right. I-O-N, right. Okay, what about, yeah, correct now. Science fiction films. Number 3.
Cartoon.
Cartoons. Yeah, what are the missing letters?
Double O.
That's correct, yeah. So we have A, and we also have double O. What about number 4?
Love story.
Right, so we have a love story. O and E.
E.
Yeah, a love. And then stories.
T.
T-O, correct.
I
love stories. So here, this is what Manal said earlier, love stories. When we use love as a noun, this is the right example, love stories. So here, love, it's like a noun, love stories. All right, number 5. What's this kind of film?
Thrillers.
Thrillers, right. And what's the spelling? What are the missing letters?
R.
Correct. We have a missing R.
Double L.
Double L, that's also correct. Okay, number 6, we have action films. Oops, I gave you the answer. What are the missing letters?
C.
C. Correct.
I-O.
Right, I-O. Films?
I-M.
I-M.
Yeah, that's right. And what's number 7?
Comedies.
R. Crammers.
No, this is actually comedies, Mohammed, comedies. So what are, correct?
E-D.
E-D.
Right, that's right, E and D. Nice. Okay, then we have, what's this, number 8?
Historical dramas.
Right, historical dramas. What are the missing letters?
I.
Correct.
O.
I.
A.
I-A.
Right. Correct.
Dramas. A.
A.
And 2 A's. Right. All right, so these are different types of films. Okay, I think we've talked enough about films, but maybe very quickly, let's see. What about Rana? What are your favorite kind of films from this list?
Thrillers and science fiction.
Okay. Manal, I think you also like science fiction, like Avatar, right?
Yes.
Okay. And comedies, you like comedies too?
Yes.
Okay. So comedies and science fiction. Mohammed, do you like movies? Do you like films, Mohammed?
I like horror films.
You like horror films?
Yeah, and action films.
Ah, okay. So horror films and action films. Nice. All right, all right. Now let's move on to our next exercise. This is a bit of a memory exercise, to be honest. I don't know how much you remember from James Bond, but let me ask you the questions. So if you don't remember, I think that's okay. Okay, number one. Now it says the question wants us to tick the correct sentences. Of course, if it's not correct, we're gonna leave it. So number one, James Bond was born in England. Is this true?
It's right.
Is this false?
No, I
No,
think
miss.
Scotland.
It's not right.
I think Scotland.
Yes, it's Scotland. He was born in Scotland, not England. All right, all right. He had two sisters.
He didn't have any brother or sister.
I think you're right, Manal. I don't remember, to be honest, but I think he was an only child, right? I can't remember, but I think you're right. His parents died in an accident.
Yes.
Yes, a climbing accident.
Yeah, a climbing accident. Okay. He lived with his grandparents.
No, I think
with his aunt, I think.
Yes.
Yeah, maybe his aunt. I can't remember. I don't know. I'm just going to take your answers. He liked studying. Did he like studying? Was he a good student at school?
No, kind of bad student.
Yes.
You're right. He wasn't a good student. Yeah. He was a bad student. He worked as a doctor in World War II. Is that true?
No.
No.
No. Can you remember what he worked as? What did he work as in World War II?
At army.
Yeah, he worked in the army with the Secret Service, right?
Yes.
Yeah, correct.
Agent.
He was an
Secret
agent.
agent.
Yeah, he was a secret agent. He wasn't a doctor. All right.
British AV تقريبا.
Yes, the British Secret Service or the British agency or something like that. Correct. Number 7, he got married in 1962.
Yes.
I think that's true, right?
Yes, that's true.
All right, okay. So these are just a few questions about James Bond. Hopefully we'll try to finish what's left from the rest of the questions. I wanted to say something. Okay. I think the only thing I wanted to say was for our dear students who are not in AAA, this means I think maybe Besma and I don't know who else. Just Besma. So there are a few changes with payment because unfortunately the person who used to buy the phone credit from us, Besma, he increased his %. So now it's going to be kind of more expensive if you pay by credit, but it's the same price in cash. Do you get the idea? So this means if you can pay اللي هم عندكم مكاتب التحويل موجودة حتى في كل مدن ليبيا موجودين يعني عادة في محطات الحافلات تلقوهم اللي هم مكاتب التحويل موجودة في بنغازي في طبرق في سبها موجودين يعني بصراحة صرت فكرة اللي هم المكتب هذا انك انت بتدفع العمولة لشخص بيستلمهم هنا في طرابلس يعني يبدأ عندك الاسم المستلم واللي هو المستلم في طرابلس سواء أنا أو زميلي في العمل حيستلم الرسوم يعني حيكون نفس المبلغ اللي هو 100 دينار بالنسبة للاشتراك الشهري نقدا لكن بالنسبة للرصيد أصبح الدبل أصبح 200 دينار فحقيقة بالنسبة لنا الأفضل طبعا أفضل والأرخص حتى للطالب يعني 100 دينار مازال أحسن أكيد فلما يجي وقتهم تو نعطيك تفاصيل أنت أظني مازال عندك في رصيدك يعني مازال بس هذا هو التغيير الوحيد اللي صار موضوع الرصيد زاد سعره يعني لكن النقد نفس الشيء. So yeah, this is unfortunately the only change. There is a bit of another change, but the other change I think it's related to يعني ممكن مش حيكون كل كورس بعد الكورس الثاني على طول لأن أغلب الساعات عندي في الفترة الصباحية يعني أغلبها محجوزة، يعني صاير شوية ضغط عليه وما عنديش حد تاني يقري معي، فمعناها ممكن مش حيكون في كل يعني زي المستويات مع بعضهم في نفس الوقت، فاحتمال بعد الاليمنتري بعد ما تكملوا ان شاء الله ممكن اللي حيصير مع البيجنر قبل، لان البيجنر اقرب للنهايه هم حاليا. حتقعد زي ما تقولوا فتره انتظار لين يكمل كورس ثاني، عرفتوا؟ هي هذه ممكن هذا الاختلاف الوحيد، لان شويه انضغطت انا وللاسف حاليا ما حصلتش من يشتغل معي يعني، لكن غير هيك اعتقد الباقي زي ما هو، يعني الموضوع ماشي، فمعناه احنا يعني مستمرين على نفس الوتيره ان شاء الله لين نكمله. وبعد ما نكمله يعني احنا ما زلنا يعني حوالي 4 يونتس، انا عندنا فتره طويله ما زال ان شاء الله، لكن لما نقربوا من النهايه بعدين نعطيكم علم على حسب، يعني لو انتم معاكم كورسات تانية فمعناها حتضطروا للاسف هنوقفوا شويه لين يخلصوا بعض الكورسات الثانيه، وبعدين انتم تتواصلوا من جديد. هي هذه الفكره يعني، باش ينقص علي الضغط في فتره المساء، يعني ما نقدرش نعطي 4 مستويات في نفس الوقت في العشيه، هي هذا الاختلاف يعني. فهذا لما يوصل وقتها ان شاء الله نعطيكم معلومات اكثر عليه. ايضا اللي فاتت اي محاضره انا اعتقد كل تو ممكن البيجنر بس ناقصات، ممكن البيجنر بس ناقص ممكن محاضرة أو 2 بس. الاليمنتري اللي آخر محاضرة موجودة على اليوتيوب، أوكي، فحتلقاها. فحتى هو إن شاء الله يعني ناقصاتها أي محاضرة. أعتقد منال أنت فاتت عليك ممكن بعض المحاضرات 1 أو 2 فاتت عليك ممكن.
أكيد رسلت عليه.
شفتيهم؟ لحقتي عليهم؟ تمام ممتاز. بس ما نفس الشيء أعتقد فاتتك ممكن محاضرة أو 2.
Yes.
Did you see them? Did you see the missing?
Yes.
Excellent, great, okay, good. What about you, Rana? Did you miss any lectures, any classes? فاتوا عليك أي حصص؟ كان عندك؟ No? Okay, تمام, good. Yes, Mohammed? Do you have a question?
دكتور استأذن.
خلاص احنا خلصنا منال، عندك الإذن، تفضلي.
شكرا.
عفوا، مع السلامة. Sorry, yes, Mohammed?
Where is your place? How can I send the money to you?
اوكي. ابعت لي على انت بعت لي على الماسنجر.
Yeah, I sent to you.
Okay. Send me another message, Mohammed. Just tell me I was in your class. I'm Mohammed. Blah blah. Okay. I'll give you all the information. Are you in Tripoli, Mohammed?
Yes.
Okay. تمام. لو في طرابلس سهل الموضوع. Okay. Just send me a letter and I'll give you all the information and I'll give you the number. Okay. And for the rest of you, thank you very much. And we'll meet again on Monday, inshallah. Okay? See you again on Monday.
Yes. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Alaikum salam. Bye bye.